If someone will ask us what is essential in Christianism, what do we answer? It is a question that is similar to the question that the scribe made to Jesus, which is the first of all the commandments. What is essential in Christianism? Here in Japan, there are many people who are not baptized and who have just a very small idea about what is Christianism. So maybe they can have this question in mind, and maybe they will approach us and they will ask us, what is essential in Christianism? So maybe we can answer the same as Jesus Christ said. So what is essential in Christianism is to love God above all things and to love our neighbor as ourselves. This is essential in Christianism. And when we say that we have to love God above all things, what does it mean? We're going to try to make an explanation about that. And to explain that, I'm going to give you an example of something that I listened from a friend of mine who is a priest now. When he was a child, he received a question from his mother. And the mother asked her son, who do you love the most, mommy or daddy? This is a very tricky question. Who do you love the most, mommy or daddy? My friend is very clever. So that was his answer. He said, God. Neither mommy nor daddy. The one I love the most is God. That was the answer. A very clever answer. And if the question were the other way around, I mean, if the question comes from the son to the mother, maybe the son asked the mother, who do you love the most, me or my sister? And maybe I think that the parents should also give the same answer. Neither you nor your sister, but God. I love God the most. That should be the answer. But that's a question for those of you who are father or mother, those of you who have children. I will ask you, do you love God more than you love your children? It is easy to spend a lot of time with your children. It is easy to have a direct connection with your children because you live in the same house. You spend a lot of time together. But sometimes it is not easy to spend a lot of time with God. It is not easy to understand that God is flesh from my flesh, as my son is flesh from my flesh. And with God, it is not easy to have a direct connection with Him as we have with our children. So it is very easy to love a son or a daughter, but it seems that it is not as easy to love God. So how can we do? How can we do to love God above all things? Well, I will tell you a secret. I think everyone here wants to love God above all things. But the secret is that it is impossible. It is impossible. You cannot love God above all things, and I cannot love above all things. And I will try to explain you that, why it is impossible. Maybe we can ask ourselves who have been through the history, the people who have loved God the most. And maybe if we receive this question, probably we will ask that the saints through the history has been the people who have loved God the most. And within the saints, maybe we can choose those who have been martyrs because they have loved God until giving their lives and die for God. So probably the martyrs are the ones through the history who have loved God the most. And in Japan, there are many martyrs, many, beginning in the 17th century and ending in the 19th century. There has been many, thousands of martyrs. Most of them were Japanese, but some of them were Spanish, like me, or Portuguese, Italian, from many nationalities, many martyrs. One of them is the one in this painting, the one which is behind in this painting, is going on a ship from Japan to, where is he going to? He's going to the Philippines because he was a Christian. And he didn't want to deny his faith, he was sent to the Philippines with some foreign priests and some Japanese Christian people. They were put away from Japan. But the one who is at the front, who is called Justo Takayama Ukon, he was a martyr. But there are thousands of martyrs in the history of Japan. And many of them has been beatified, has been recognized as blessed. In fact, Takayama Ukon is blessed Takayama Ukon. He has been beatified by Pope Francis. And in the way to be recognized as a saint, to be recognized as a blessed, is like a very important first step. So first, they are recognized as blessed, and after that, they are recognized as saints. But to be recognized as a blessed, we have to recognize one thing. And what we have to recognize is that this person has to do with a miracle. And to be recognized as a saint, we have to prove that this person has to do with another miracle. So when we're talking about miracles, what we first think is about someone who is ill and recovers from the illness through a miraculous way. That's the first thing that we think about. However, all the martyrs that has been beatified, they have nothing to do with miraculous recoveries from illness. None of them. The miracle that has been recognized for them to be blessed has nothing to do with a recovery, a miraculous recovery from an illness. So we can ask ourselves, and what miracle did they do? Well, the miracle that has been recognized for every martyr is his own martyrdom. Being a martyr is a miracle because for us it is impossible. Here in Japan, many families were martyrs together, the children and the father and the mother. And when the authorities told the father and the mother to deny their faith so that they will save their lives, and if they don't do that, then they will kill, first of all, the children in front of the father of the mother. And after that, they will kill the father and the mother. They say, you can deny your faith and you will be saved. And they say, we are not going to deny our faith because this is the biggest treasure that we have in life. This is a testimony of loving God above all things. And then they were martyrized. Well, this is a miracle because this is impossible with our own efforts, with our own selves. This is impossible. So if that happens, then we recognize that that has been a miracle, that the grace of God has made it possible. So every time a martyr is recognized as a blessed, the miracle that is behind this person is his own martyrdom. And realizing that, we also can understand another thing that I think it is very, very important, and is that loving God above all things, it is impossible for us, but it is a gift from God. If I can love God above all things, it's because God has given me this gift. It is a gift from God. And this is important to realize, because we live in a world where we are taught in the way of, if you make a big effort, you will be able to do everything in life. Gambate kudasai. They say that many times. Gambate kudasai. Through effort, you will be able to achieve whatever you want in life, but you have to make a big effort. So then we realize that the most important things in life, no matter how big will be our effort, we will never be able to achieve it through our own efforts. And then we realize as Christians that if it is possible in my life, it will be possible because of the grace of God, as a gift from God, not because of my effort, but because of the grace of God. And I think that if we understand that in a good way, then we can go into a deeper communion with God, because we will be more conscious about the grace that we receive from Him, and then we will continuously give thanks to Him for all the blessings that He gives us. So today we ask God to give us the gift to be able to love Him above all things.